looks weird when I try to edit videos, so don't
All
worry
right, cool.
about that.
But
But we're
I was
gonna
gonna
talk
ask.
about obviously Bama Georgia first, just to get it out the way.
Yep.
I want
Here
Brett
we
to.
go.
I want,
Here
and
we go.
this is how I want to go about it. I want Brett to kind of give me what he thinks Georgia has to do to win, and then what they could do to ultimately lose the game, or what is Georgia worried about from Alabama's side.
So y'all aren't going to really like this. I mean, realistically, we got a couple guys out that we need back. Tate Ratledge out, so we have some holes. I think Alabama's defense is going to be a problem, especially against Bobo. I'm not going to say Mike's terrible, but he's not my first pick as an offensive corner after watching the Kentucky film.
Yeah.
I don't think y'all have faced a defense like ours.
No.
So realistically, like I don't know. I mean, everyone wants to point to the Kentucky game, and I guess how long do you want me to go about it? Because Kentucky's defense was extremely, extremely impressive with them shadowing a lot of coverages. Mike Bobo, they had him running for the hills. He did not look good, but I expect Georgia to win by 15 this week. I think it's going to be a bloodbath.
Oh
I think
shit!
I know. I think it's going to be a bloodbath, and I think it'll be. I don't know. What are y'all boys take? And then we'll go back and forth.
Yeah, we can
Uh-uh.
go to
I'll take it
Uh-oh.
from you.
real quick.
Uh-oh,
Go ahead, Cody.
Pistols coming out.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
I'm not impressed by Georgia. I don't even think they're a top 5 team, to be honest with you.
All right. Can we
Cody,
expand?
give me the.
Yeah, we needed more details on that one.
So the Kentucky game, that was rough.
But we know they give them fit, so we got to
They-
give Kentucky
that's- we've
credit.
talked about
Like
that.
they figured
I
out
was not
Georgia
impressed.
a little bit.
And honestly, in the Clemson game, like they looked good in the second half, but that first half was not good.
Clemson,
And
however, has looked a lot better.
they've looked a lot better since trying to figure out their team. But I'm not saying I don't like Georgia. I respect it. They're gonna make the playoffs regardless. Like I like Carson Beck. I think he's probably, if not the best quarterback in college football.
Now that's where
arguably.
I don't believe that.
I know. I said arguably.
No, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said arguably.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
I don't think it's like an argument. I personally disagree with that take. I know it's a popular take. He's the number one in a lot of mocks. I don't respect Carson Beck enough yet. I know he could torch Bama, sure, because the secondary is a question. I'm saying like I think Carson Beck's good. I don't think he's 1 or 2. I think that goes to right now at least. You're telling me it's Cam Ward, Shedeur, Quinn Ewers, and then we can talk about Carson Beck. And I'm not disrespecting the guy. It's just I feel like there's been a lot of better quarterback play. That's it.
So I'm gonna answer Cody real quick. Non-top 5 is a little crazy.
That is crazy.
We're gonna talk about the Clemson game real quick. In the Clemson game, we were running some flat routes. We were trying to ease Carson Beck into it. The defense showed up. In the second half, we let it loose, and
Right.
that was the Georgia team. We ended up beating Clemson by 31, and they've gone on to dominate. I left that game saying, "Listen, I don't know if Clemson is a bad team. I respect them. I think this Georgia team's the best team I've ever seen play football in my life in college football.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow, that's a big
So,
take.
It is a huge take. So we go into Kentucky, we sleepwalk, right? And we're not calling our best games. We're not able to scheme. They do a great job on defense, but we're not able to put up points. I'm telling you, Kirby has had those boys barking all for the past 2 weeks. We've been running. I see guys throwing up on the side of the road. Georgia's going to come in and handle business, and that's all I'm saying.
I think
15 plus.
See, that's what I like, the roles reversed. I think y'all are going to come in there gassed, just not ready. And I think our offense is the best offense in the nation right now. I think our offense is going to be too much for Georgia's defense. They're going to get stops. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a close game like it always is. But I just think we're going to pull away at the end by at least two touchdowns.
So I don't think so. Both of you are saying 2 touchdowns for Alabama, 2 touchdowns for Georgia. Now,
if it's 2 out, can I say something?
Yeah,
if
go
it's
ahead.
2, if y'all beat us by 14 touchdowns, I'll eat dog shit. I'll be like the first
Go
ahead and clip it.
Hey,
Clip
I'm the
it.
pod. I got a
Clip
dog.
it
We'll make it happen.
Throw it
If
on
y'all beat-
socials,
If
dude.
y'all put it on socials over 14 and a half, I'll be that guy.
He said, I'll be that dude.
So I don't think you're gonna eat dog shit because I don't think that's happening. Me personally, this is just my take. I don't really want to be like I'm not the. I always look at Bama like I'm just another analyst looking at the game. I'm not looking at it from the Bama crimson colored glasses. Now, yes, I have bias and I love Alabama. And I think they're a good team, and I feel like they have a good chance to win at home. They have the pieces. We know what the offense looks like. Brett's right. They haven't played defense like Georgia. Respect the hell out of the Georgia secondary. I think the secondary was
I do too.
awesome with Starks. They're getting some guys back. Walker on the edge. I mean, they got guys now in college football right now. Not a lot of teams do have depth. They can't rotate like they used to, clearly. So that's an issue that we could see for both teams. I think both of these offenses are going to have success. I don't know if it's going to be in the 30s. I do expect this to be like last year in the 27-24 range. Comes down to a field goal, maybe a last minute touchdown. We know these games are always close for the most part. I do want to say I did in 2020 go to that game where it was like Bama pulled away in the second half, but that was, Bama had a pretty special team, and that was like Stetson Bennett's kind of first year getting going. So that was an exception. The SEC championship game was a similar score, but besides that, Alabama Georgia play very, very tight game. So I don't see this being
Always.
2 touchdown game for either side. Now, Brett could be right, could maybe just lock up the Alabama offense, but for keys to victory for both sides, number one for Georgia, for Jalen Milroe. I know last year in the championship game they had a double spy situation. It worked for a good portion. They got a few sacks. I think Jalen is obviously weak throwing across the middle into like intermediate kind of hitches or digs or whatever that may be. Getting him now to get him going, it's to run him on the design QB run, which I feel like they've shown and they know how to do. But he's not a guy that's like Lamar, right? Where you're just gonna say, and I know Lamar does design QB runs, but I'm talking about like Jalen's not a guy now that you watch and he's like, oh, he's just finding a hole and just takes off and goes. Now he could, but for the most part, Georgia will have an answer for that because they'll spy him and blah blah blah. Alabama's answer is going to be run the ball like so much, and I think that's what they're going to do. And they're going to do a lot of teams where they're going to run Jalen Miller to death. They're going to run the QB designs. They're going to run Jam and Justice, and then try to take the shots, obviously, which is going to be tough because you gotta beat those Georgia secondary defenders that are really good. So I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I do think Bama has some explosive players. Now for Georgia, their defense is awesome. So they got to keep doing what they're doing, like I just mentioned. But on the offensive side, Carson Beck, now I saw something about when he's pressured, it's like I can't pull up the numbers right in front of me, but his completion percentage has been a little rough. Now Jalen Milroe has been a little bit better, I will say, from what I've seen. So that'll be interesting to see how those guys handle the pressure specifically. Now, Bama caused some issues last year in the championship game with him, but for the most part, he played a pretty solid game. I liked what I saw. I didn't feel like I left there being like my opinion was changed on Georgia and their offense. And even though they lost the game, I think it was just the ball just kind of bounced there Alabama's way. Alabama played a clean game, whatever. So I feel like personally, I'll let you speak again, Brett, but Alabama just has to run the ball, protect the ball. The O-line is one of the best in the country. They are healthy now. Now, they haven't seen anybody like Georgia, so we'll see. But Georgia, with their offensive lineman Ralledge being out, what do you think? Like, does that scare you at all or no?
I mean, I think the biggest thing you brought up earlier that scares me is depth. I think with the transfer portal, a lot of depth is gone. I think especially on our offensive line. I don't know if y'all start attacking our offensive line, we have the depth. But in terms of Jalen Milroe, I think, my boy Schmel in the middle going to make sure he has a life alert by the end of the day. So, he might be pressing that button while he's on the ground. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to leave the floor open to the Alabama guys.
No, I hear you. I hear you, Cody. You go.
I just think me and Brett got too much Bama and dog in us. Just love the
I know.
dog.
Y'all are very
love.
similar. I'm more like I can't. You know what? I can't feel one way too heavy because it's like I just don't think that.
No,
Seth,
I mean,
Seth, what do you think is going to happen in this game?
Seth,
I think it's going to end in a tie. And next week when Georgia plays Auburn, we're going to win by 40.
Oh, sure. All right, going back to the real analyst.
That's just I was about to say that's just jokes here. We're about to get slaughtered.
So let's.
I will say, Jordan Hare though is a place that scares me, Cody, and Hayden.
It's a magical place.
I hate it. I want to burn it down.
It's a magical place.
They got some buried bodies underneath that stadium.
I hate it.
We got some voodoo happening.
They do, but Seth and the Auburn Tigers got a thorn in their ass, and we're not talking about the quarterback. We're talking about the head coach. So we'll see how they figure it out.
Yeah,
you're not lying. Not lying, brother.
So real quick, okay, we got the predictions for the most part. Let's get the exact scores from Cody and from Rhett
Oh.
and whoever wants to go.
Cody, I'll let you have the floor.
All right. Let's see. You know what? I like a good.
Are you about to say a 40 burger? Because that would be insane.
I heard that.
I mean, you got to think about it a little bit here.
That's what I'm trying to do.
How about this? How about this? First
I'm
of all,
a-
we know the line is 2.5. Georgia is favored. Okay. We know that the total is 51.5. So with that being said, what do you think the score is?
I like. Well, I said by 15, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's. That's rough, man. I don't think either team is gonna win by 15 or even 10. I think it's gonna be how it was, like 7 or 3.
So you reeled it back in.
I'm reeling it
He
back
reeled
in.
it back in.
Hey,
I'm re-
while he's doing that, I'm launching it to the ocean. Give me the dogs 31-10. That's all I'm saying.
31-10.
31-10. We're gonna lock them down, and we're gonna
Now, that's a bold
By
take.
21.
That's a bold take.
31-10.
You said 15 plus. It went up to 21.
Give me
I like
I just
it.
35.
started.
I
I
like it.
started feeling it.
I like it.
So
Give me 35-24, Bama.
35-24.
Okay. Okay.
That is interesting because if that was the score, that means Bama probably doesn't kick a field goal, which they've only kicked one and they missed it against Wisconsin. So I do think that is a situation I could see where like Bama this week has to kick more field goals. I'm interested to see how they do with that because they did bring in the kicker that won the I forgot the Lou Groza Award last year. So and he shouldn't have won it because Will Record honestly should have won that. And I'm not being biased. That's just facts. But the game to me will probably be like last year. I said 27-24 was the score last year. Honestly, I'm not going to say that's the score this year, but I will say I personally think it's probably going to be 26-23, and I'm going to go Bama. Obviously, I'm going to say Bama. But I would not be surprised if Bama loses this game, and I do think there's a real chance that they could lose in like a way where Georgia kind of controls the game, and I could see that. But I'm just going to say that it's back and forth. It's a great football game. We're going to be just once again just amazed at how good college football is, and I feel like that's my prediction.